Regardless of how many buttons and options your camera has, it won't take any great photos if it sits on a shelf collecting dust. So yes, the camera you use is important. Not just for the quality of images it produces, but for the inspiration it gives you to go out and create. And this, I believe, is the most important feature of any camera. This isn't just a story about switching cameras, it's a story about growth, self-exploration, and rediscovering what keeps me inspired to create. My journey started like many others, with a basic camera, an Nikon D3200, a kit lens, and a hunger to explore photography. After spending years shooting with this small and yet impactful piece of gear, I made the decision to upgrade to my very first full-frame camera, the Sony A7 II. This camera opened up new possibilities for me, helping me to understand photography better and to refine my craft. But then life threw me a curveball. At a time that changing cameras wasn't easy for me, my beloved and precious Sony A7 II gave out. It completely stopped working. I had to adapt. With my limited budget, I turned to the Sony A6400. It was affordable, reliable, and capable of getting great results. It got me back to creating, and for a while, it was enough. But as I shot more, its limitations became clear. The lack of eyepiece made night photography and handheld video shooting very challenging. There were moments of frustration, missed shots and shaky footage, and I started wondering whether this camera was really able to keep up with my creative vision. Eventually, I took the leap and upgraded to the much celebrated Sony A7 III. It felt like a dream come true with its incredible low-light performance, reliable autofocus and in-body image stabilization. With it, I felt truly unstoppable, as if I had found the perfect companion for my creative goals. I still vividly remember the first shot I took with it. It was on a photo walk out in Leicester, where I used to live at the time. It was one of those magical evenings just after the sun had set and the world was bathed in deep serene blue. I framed a simple scene, just the gate of the open market of Leicester, with someone walking by with an umbrella in hand. When I saw the results, the colors, the sharpness, the clarity, it was flawless. That one shot left me in awe and cemented my relationship with the Sony A7 III. I knew then and there that this camera had elevated my craft. I shot and enjoyed the Sony A7 III for years. But even as I loved this camera, a question lingered in my mind. Is there something I am missing? Why, despite all those impressive technical options, I don't feel so inspired anymore? That's when I began to take notice of a camera system that up until then I had overlooked, or even I had unfairly dismissed, and that is the Fuji system. If you're enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and consider subscribing with the bell. Let's see now how Fuji cameras completely changed the way I do street photography. Fuji cameras felt different in a way I couldn't ignore. It wasn't just about the specs or the features. It was about the experience. The tactile dials, the film simulations, the colors, it all felt so much more personal, so much more intentional. And then there was the way that people talked about Fuji cameras, as though they were not just tools, but companions in their creative journey. It intrigued me enough to take a chance. And without selling any of my Sony gear at the time, I decided to pick up a Fuji X-T3 with a Fuji 35mm f1.4. And despite it being a camera with fewer features and older technology than the Sony A7 III, it did something unexpected. It made me fall in love with photography all over again. Very quickly, the X-T3 became my go-to camera for street photography. Its design and the simple joy of using it made me want to shoot more. For 2 years it inspired me every time I picked it up. But despite how much I loved it, there were challenges that I couldn't ignore. On 2 trips I made last year in Greece and Italy, I realized that I need something more versatile. Something that could excel in both photography and video, since the X-T3 didn't have eyepiece. Carrying multiple cameras like the Sony 7 III, the Fuji X-T3 and other camera systems at the same time wasn't practical anymore. It was time to simplify. That's when I made the tough decision to let go of the Fuji X-T3 and the Sony 6400 along with most of my Sony lenses. It wasn't easy, these cameras had been with me through so many different moments. But I knew that it was time for a change. I needed a single camera that could handle anything I wanted to do. Enter the Fuji X-T5. The X-T5 reignited my passion for both photography and video in ways I didn't expect. With its 40 megapixel sensor, eyepiece and improved autofocus, it feels like the perfect balance between power and inspiration. The tactile dials and Fuji's signature look make every shot feel intentional and meaningful. It's not just a camera, it's a tool that inspires you and gets the job done at the same time. But it's not just about the specs. The X-T5 has simplified my process. Switching between photo and video modes is now seamless and the camera is intuitive enough to keep me in the moment. For this reason, it inspires me to go out, explore and create every single day. My experience so far has taught me many things. But the one and most important thing that will always stay with me is, before jumping into a new camera system, to ask myself these questions. Does my camera inspire me? Does it make me want to create more? Because at the end of the day, that's exactly what matters the most. Photography isn't about perfection. It's about capturing the world as you see it and growing along the way. Sometimes that means stepping outside of your comfort zone and taking a chance on something new. What is it that inspires you when you're doing photography? Is it your camera? What is that one piece of gear that always makes you want to go out and create more? Let me know. Now, if you want to see how by stopping taking nice photos I reinvented my photography, click and watch this video next. That was all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I will see you on the streets. Bye bye.